Welcome to the Four Bandits channel. Today we're diving into the mysterious world of Bigfoot once again. Over the years, countless sightings and videos have sparked debate, but I've gathered a few Bigfoot videos that I found especially compelling, and a fake one that's fooled a lot of people into thinking it's real. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, these clips are sure to make you think twice. Let's jump in and see what you think. In this video, we see a kayaker slowly drifting in a murky swamp. He glides silently through the thick, stagnant air. We know the dangers of this place: the venomous cottonmouths, rattlesnakes, and copperheads, some coiled in the tree branches. Hungry alligators lurking just below the surface, but what he saw next was something far more unnerving. At first, he thought it was just another shadow among the reeds. But as his kayak drifted closer, he realized the shape was moving. It was tall, covered in matted dark hair that clung to its body like swamp moss. The creature moved with an unnatural grace, its massive shoulders hunched down as it cupped water in its large hands and brought it to its mouth. Suddenly, the kayaker made an unexpected sound, and the creature's eyes darted toward him, then back to the water's edge. The kayaker froze, his breath caught in his throat as the realization set in. This was no bear, no common beast of the swamp. Every instinct screamed at him to retreat, to paddle back to the safety of open water, but curiosity held him captive. Before he could process what was happening, the creature lunged forward. It plunged into the water with a splash that echoed through the trees as the creature splashed its way through the swampy underbrush. The kayaker's heart thundered as he dug his paddle into the water, saying a muted, "Okay, let's go," desperate to distance himself from the developments unfolding mere yards away. Whatever this thing was, it wasn't just surviving in the swamp, it was claiming it, and the kayaker was trespassing. What makes this one real for me is the creature's posture on the water's edge. It's crouching down and cupping its hand to bring water up to its mouth. I've watched great apes do this, but great apes don't reside in America's swamplands. And if this is a great ape, it would have to be one enormous great ape. As a small group of boaters drifted cautiously along the shoreline, their motor idling low, its faint hum swallowed by the expanse of stillness around them, they unexpectedly had a once-in-a-lifetime experience. One of them suddenly pointed towards a break in the dense undergrowth. There, in an empty patch of sandy shoreline, a figure emerged, tall, hulking, and covered in thick brown matted hair that glistened in the dappled sunlight. The boaters froze, their whispers cut short as they watched the creature move with a strange, deliberate stride, its broad shoulders rolling with each step. The group sat in stunned silence, gripping the sides of the boat, unsure whether to move closer or retreat. Then, just as sharply as it had appeared, the creature disappeared into the trees, leaving only the faint imprint of its massive feet in the soft earth. I'm kind of on the fence on this one. This one, to me, looks like a guy in a suit who's not quite in tune with his environment. He reminds me of a guy in a suit, like a big guy in a suit, that's just very unsure of his footing and kind of unbalanced. I don't know, he just kind of strikes me as kind of odd. This next video, I don't have an opinion on, but I included it because I still do find it interesting. It's not clear enough to determine anything, and it could very well just be a bear standing on its hind legs, peering over a bush at the squishy giant ball on the other side. Then again, it could equally be Sasquatch. Here's that short video. This one strikes me as one of the more believable videos out there. I say this despite it not being clear what the creature is, or clearly being defined or anything. I say it because the creature is moving at such great speed and taking such great strides in that deep snow, going straight uphill, pretty much straight uphill, that that puts it in the realm of possibility and realm of credibility for me.
Evening time, just at dusk, nighttime, like now. The first time I ever heard anything was later in '71. I came back up with the guys and we was here by the stove. There was a stove here then. And as soon as it starts getting dark, we'd go in. Sometimes you might hear a grunt or a whoop or a big blowing sound or something like that, and that's when you know you want to get inside the shelter because you still don't know what you're dealing with. Whatever it is big, very, very big. We all go inside, close the shelter door, and that's a log that we put between these trees, and then we'd strap it inside a cable, and then they would start making their sounds. And that was in '71 when I first started hearing them, and we started recording them.
What you'll hear next are the now famous Sierra sound recordings. On this occasion, the Sierra night was eerily quiet, broken suddenly by four whoops that echoed through the dark forest. The hunters froze by their campfire, their tape recorder capturing the unearthly sounds, whoops, grunts, and sharp cries unlike any animal they knew. They had heard these sounds before, but this time they brought along a recorder. Another call, an answer from the distance, aggressive and resonant, as if two creatures were communicating. Then others. The hunters joined in with their own whoops in response, and you can easily distinguish those from the creatures in the forest.
There's two of them across the creek at the big rocks. That's our job.
We were all talking about maybe having to shoot our way out.
I plan on doing a longer video on these recordings, including a visit to the location in the near future. So if you're interested in that, subscribe, and if you're interested in being notified, click the bell icon and the channel will notify you that I've uploaded that video. Anyway, what do I think of the recordings? I find them incredibly compelling if they're real. Why do I say if they're real? I say that simply because I've heard and seen videos of baboons' vocalizations, and they make very, very similar vocalizations. However, having said that, the baboon vocalizations are not exactly like these vocalizations. They're very similar, but not exactly like them. Having said that, though, imagine being in that forest and hearing those sounds all around you. Now imagine being in that forest all alone by yourself, hearing those vocalizations and knowing that they're coming closer and closer to you.
First thing you can see in this video is the creature's physique.
Right off the bat, I'll let you know this one's fake. As you watch this video, if you can, watch it in slow motion like I did. Then watch the leaf on the tree behind the creature. As the creature churns and bounds away, that leaf passes through the creature's arm without stirring at all. That's how you know it's fake.
Suggest a natural motion unfamiliar to humans. With the footage still so new, we're waiting for more details to come forward, including where exactly this was filmed.
In an honest world, people wouldn't fake videos. But we don't live in an exactly honest world. In this world, people fake videos all the time, and they don't make it very obvious that they're fake. You kind of have to read through all the trash. And I think this contributes a lot to why there's still a stigma on this subject matter. I don't have a background story to go with this one, so I'll give you my impression right here. I've seen this creature in other videos, and it's interesting to me that various people who don't seem to know or live near each other filmed the same creature. When I say the same creature, I mean the same look, not necessarily the same exact creature. I'm referring to that very human-looking face enveloped in that large mass of hair or fur around the head. You'll see the creature come up again in a few minutes. Here's this video. A logger drove cautiously along a dirt road, the truck's headlights cutting through the dense darkness of the forest. For a split second, the beams illuminated a massive figure partially obscured by trees and branches. It stood impossibly tall and still, its silhouette framed by tangled limbs. The logger didn't notice it, but the recording camera caught this. There's a longer video on YouTube to be found where the logger exits the vehicle and kind of walks around the front of the vehicle and is startled by something to his left. And then immediately the logger kind of like loses his balance and runs away really quick. He runs off. So try to find that video. I tried finding it, but I didn't find it. So I ended up with the shorter version. But it's kind of an interesting viewing if you watch the complete longer video. Now, what the creature is that startles him, or whatever it is that startles him, isn't really revealed in the video. Interestingly enough, whatever startles him comes from the exact same location where the headlight caught this tall thing, gray-looking thing in the forest, just beyond. You'll see it in the video. It's circled, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Now, that could be a Sasquatch or a Bigfoot. They could also be the trunk of a tree, for example, that's been struck by lightning and it's burnt. And once the light hits that black area, that burnt area, it will look, at night, it will look grayish like that, like you see here. So that could just be a tree trunk being mistaken for a Sasquatch or a creature or something other than what it actually is. It could be completely natural for all I know. I don't know. But take a look at it. Make up your own mind. Here is another video of that same similar creature that I talked about a few minutes ago. The one with the human face and a big poof of hair above his head. I don't know how to describe that. But it's like I don't know, a big tuft of hair like that around his face. Seems pretty weird. But I've seen that creature in, like I said, in the previous video that you saw. And also that is the same creature that was featured, or that was supposedly photographed by Jacob Gray in my Jacob Gray video. I mean, I'll put a link to that video in the description, or you can just find it on my channel. But I recently uploaded a video about Jacob Gray, and supposedly he left, or they discovered a camera from him, and one of his last photos, he took a picture of a creature by a tree, and that particular creature supposedly looks just like this creature. So that would be 3 locations. If true, that would be 3 locations where this exact same creature or exact same type of creature was spotted and photographed or videoed. In this video, the creature seems very annoyed, very frustrated possibly, or maybe angry, and is throwing around these giant trees. As you'll see in the video, not giant actually, I shouldn't exaggerate. They're saplings, but as somebody who's been out camping and chopped wood, a lot of these saplings, I know that they're not light. And, this creature is picking them up by the thin end and flinging them around like baseball bats, like they're nothing. So they're not light. Those things are not, I couldn't do that. I couldn't pick that up and fling it around. I know that some people could, but I'm not one of those people, and I'm a pretty big guy, and I couldn't do that. But anyway, here's that video. Okay, so now that you saw the video, I have to say that this is another video that's pretty compelling to me. If this is a guy in a suit, this is a pretty strong and agile guy in a suit, in a pretty heavy suit. He moves around as if he has no trouble whatsoever carrying that big and assumably pretty heavy latex and fur suit over his body. And he throws around those saplings like they're toothpicks, like they're practically nothing. Now, I realize that those saplings aren't enormous, but they're also not tiny. They're not that small. I would challenge anybody to do that, to pick up saplings like that by the thin end and throw them around like that. I've chopped enough wood in my lifetime to understand that the way that this creature is handling that wood is highly unusual and pretty compelling. Nobody that I know can throw wood like that around like we see here, especially while wearing assumably a heavy latex fur suit. Now, I'm not saying that nobody can. I'm sure there's competitors out there, like I've seen on TV, these guys who fling logs, for example, in competitions. And, there's some big Norwegians out there, for example, that, can probably do stuff like this. But I highly doubt that there's these big giant Norwegians out in the American woods dressing up in fursuits just so they can get a few clicks on YouTube videos. I just don't see it.
We'll end the video on another fake video that's been put out. This is a video that was put out by a Bigfoot entertainment company out of, I believe, Wyoming or possibly Montana. Regardless of the location, that is not a Bigfoot, not a real deal.
Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please do me a favor and click like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this kind of content. And I'll try to put together another video for you guys. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great night.